Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ram Review. This time we're reviewing round 13 and what the fuck has happened to football. I mean, upsets galore. Upsets galore the last 2 weeks. This week was just categorized by some weird results and some controversial results as well, might I add. The end of the round did get a little bit more normal, but we're going to start off with the Adelaide-Richmond game. I'm not going to talk too much about this because, as we all know, I talk about every Richmond game separately in a different video, so check that out. This was a hilarious game to watch because how we won this game, I don't know. But we won 79-71. Cool, let's move on. Let's go straight to the next game where I predicted this. The Lions, 71 points. Western Bulldogs, 114 points to the Brisbane Lions. I did think this would happen, and it happened all right. The injuries just caught up with the Dogs, which is what I expected. And Brisbane were comfortable winners after that first quarter. It was pretty much game over. They're a good team. I mean, Eric Hipwood, such a weird player. Bro kicked 6 goals. We just all know next week he's going to do nothing as well. He's just a little bit weird like that. Lachie Neale had an outstanding game. Treloar continues to play great football. Bontempelli as well with the 3 goals. Hipwood was just crazy good. Dominated that defense of the Dogs. 17 goals they kicked, and it's a sad story for the Dogs now because although they got a great win last week against Collingwood, they are all the way down in equal 12th. They're in 11th with a good percentage, but the same points as Hawthorn. All they need to do is win a game or two, have some good results, and they could get there. But the injuries now, you would think it might just be a little bit too hard for them to do that. The Lions, conversely, are just one win away from being in 11th spot. They do have that game in hand, which certain teams do have. Excuse me, yawning. Good game for the Dogs, and we'll move on straight to the Hawthorn GWS game, which was awfully surprising. I did think the Giants would win, but Hawthorn, rightfully so, got the victory. 6-point victors, 85-79, and it was the decisive goal by Luke Bruce. A couple lucky free kicks towards the end of the game for Hawthorn, and they get the result. Didn't look likely until the last quarter, but it was a great performance from the Hawks. And some unlikely names. Jack Gunston continues to stand up for Hawthorn. He got the 3 goals. I thought the likes of Day, Weddle's back into the form. The midfield, it was all the midfield of Hawthorn. You know, the Moores, the Days, the Warples. I'm forgetting all my names. And they were probably just outdone, to be completely honest with you, the Giants. They did have some good contributors. Kieran Briggs continues to do well. 38 hit-outs. Ned Reeves only had 17, got dominated by Kieran Briggs. Lachie Whitford was good, but unfortunately, despite the fact that Xavier O'Halloran, an unlikely goal kicker, kicking 4 goals, the Giants couldn't get the result done, and for that reason, they are in 8th place, still with the game in hand, but it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good. Hawthorn continue to win. They are in 12th place on 24 points. So they've nearly won half their games. We move straight on to the next game, which was the biggest upset of the round. North Melbourne, actually maybe not the biggest upset, but North Melbourne finally got their first victory against the West Coast Eagles, away from home as well, which is pretty impressive. Not many teams can boast about that this season. But we all know West Coast deserved the win. 8 goals 17 to 11 goals 8. Inaccuracy absolutely killed the West Coast Eagles. To kick that many points is just not good enough, and that's why they lost. Really, it was a bit of up and down in the first half, and then they came back, and somehow when West Coast came back in that last quarter, it was like game over, and then North just found something out of nowhere and got the last couple decisive goals to win by 9 points, 65-74. Jai Simpkin was great. Nick Larkey was great with 5 goals. Zach Fisher continues to play well, 36 touches. Harry Sheezer with 30. West Coast didn't have many contributors. Waterman got 3 goals, but apart from that, the top possession getter was Elliot Yeo with 23. So the midfield was heavily defeated there. Clearances as well. George Wardlaw got the 10 clearances. And Tristan Jarry continues to have a great season. They're still on the bottom of the ladder, the Kangaroos, but it's a much-needed win, and well done to them. Next game, we go on to St Kilda, who took on the Gold Coast Football Club. Look, the most boring game ever. I'm not going to get onto the stats and all that stuff. Such a boring game to watch. 51-48. Not even 100 points combined was scored in this game. And they made Gold Coast look boring. Even though Sam Flanders had 42 touches and dominated. Even though the likes of fucking Butler got 3 goals. It was just boring. And we all know the biggest talking point of this match was the umpires rewarding Ben King that free kick against... Max King, the free kick against McAndrews, in the last minutes of the last quarter, which let Max King kick the winning goal. They didn't deserve the win, but they got it anyway, thanks to the umpires. St Kilda are in 14th with a pretty poor percentage. Out of the Gold Coast Football Club, my God, I'm doing a lot. They are only on the 28 points, but they just outside the top 8 in 9th place. Next up, we have got the Sydney Swans, who easily defeated Geelong, but it didn't look like that. The first quarter particularly, was all Geelong, and then halfway through that second quarter, St Kilda said, "Suck my absolute cock," and they kicked away. I mean, excluding the first quarter, it was 109 to 50 points. So they dominated there, and they were rightful winners. Geelong Sydney are just too good. At home, they're too good. That's why they lost. The normals, it's becoming normal saying Goulden had a good game, Heaney had a good game, Warner had a good game, Grundy contributed, Rowbottom gets the tackles. Now Tom Papley's kicking the goals. Like, he's starting to get into some form. We've seen the forward line starting to hit a little bit more. We're seeing the clearances coming from people like Justin McInerney a little bit more. We're seeing some very impressive plays from impressive Swans players. And for Geelong, they're slipped down out of the top 4 for the first time this year. They're in 5th place. And for the Sydney Swans, they're comfortably 2 wins and a game in hand in 1st place. Moving swiftly on to a very much exciting game. Essendon took on Carlton, 70-96. They won by 26 points, the Carlton Football Club. But obviously the storyline is Essendon had far more inside 50s. They just could not capitalise, fortunately. 60-41 inside 50s. I mean, that is just a remarkable statistic given that Essendon had lost quite easily. So loads more inside 50s, they couldn't capitalise. I thought Essendon were better tonight, but 9 goals 16 to 15 goals 6. It's clear how important accuracy is, being able to kick straight, and the points there, the inaccuracy of Essendon really meant their chances of winning were diminished. I thought Nick Martin had probably BOG game. Thought he was fantastic when it mattered. The meters gained as well, did really well. But it was the normals, I would say. Not the normals, sorry. It was the not normals of Carlton who got the job done. Elijah Holland with 3 goals. And by the way, leading possession getter for Carlton, Tom DeConian at 24. A very low possession game. It was quite a weird game. Really fun to watch though. And Essendon find themselves 3rd, Carlton find themselves in 2nd. Pretty equal teams. I think Essendon will be pretty filthy with themselves given they probably should have got a result there. But we move strictly on to the final game of the round. Queen's birthday game. Fantastic spectacle this game. Collingwood very easily dismissed Melbourne, but it was through the accuracy once again. 89-51, Magpies won by 38 points, but it was 14 goals 5 to 6 goals 15. That's pretty much reversed, and that is such a big reason why Collingwood won. They were better, they were more fierce. Braden Maynard set the tone. They were just much better. But unfortunately for the D's, they're really struggling right now. Jack Chris won the award, he was good. Some big injuries in this game. Dacos with the injury, Petrarca with an injury as well. Track's injury, he went back on, which was just crazy from the Demons. What are you thinking? He had a lacerated spleen, a punctured lung, and 4 broken ribs. He still went on that field, even though he was clearly in pain. And for what point? They had already lost the game. Melbourne with that injury, they were in 10th place with just a positive percentage of 100.1, literally just. And Collingwood are firing back into form. They are equal 4th with Port Adelaide and Geelong, but they are in 6th place on 32 points with 108%. literally another win, and they get into they will make top 4 guaranteed. They are looking so good, and the Dacos injury is a bit concerning, but that should be all right. That's the round. Thanks for watching. Follow the TikTok FTFooty, and I'll be seeing you in another video.